welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Liam Crowley, and on today's episode, we are continuing our weekly Star Wars reviews, coming at you with Attack of the Clones, Episode 2. We also have some box office update as usual, and a really, really big story coming in about 20th Century Fox possibly selling their entire studio to Disney. This is insane news. No one expected it. Joining me, as always, is Mike Gillis. Mike, what's going on?
What's up, guys? Different scenery today, Liam.
Yeah, I'll explain that. So, usually we record from home in my living room, essentially, and it's pretty quiet and soft sound. We are very tight for time. Me and Mike are both involved in the production here at BHS, Spamalot, and so we have a show today, so we don't really have time to record at home per usual. So we are coming at you from study hall. We got a pass to go to our ever-so-kind chorus teacher, Miss Hollenbeck, and she's letting us use her computer, not even mine. I brought mine to school. Turns out it's dead. Didn't think we were going to get an episode out today, but we are committed to getting one out every week. We even downloaded the software on her computer just to get this episode out. So this episode might be cut a little short, but it's what's going to happen because, that's how it is.
We only have so long in these classes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so with that being said, we will get right into the weekend box office update on this impromptu episode. So, coming in at number 1, to no one's surprise, is Thor Ragnarok, making $122.7 million, an astronomical number, highest grossing Thor movie, opening weekend, I believe.
Just blowing all the other movies out of the water.
Absolutely.
Just completely.
Number 2, A Bad Mom's Christmas, making $16.7 million on its opening weekend. Coming in at number 3 is Jigsaw, making $6.5 million with a 60% drop. Coming in at number 4 is Tyler Perry's Boo 2 and Medea Halloween, making $4.5 million with a 54% drop. And coming in at number 5, rounding out the top 5, is Geostorm, making $3.1 million, coming in with a 45.9% drop. So, just looking at the top 5, Mike, what stands out to you?
I'm kind of surprised that we have Halloween movies still, rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
There's not much, out right now. I mean, I feel like you got some Oscar bait down at the bottom with Victoria and Abdul.
Yeah, but that's not in the top 5,
true,
right?
True. Yeah, I'm just saying, there's other movies down there.
Right.
I feel like those horror movies belong down there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thor Ragnarok, to no one's surprise.
Yeah, no.
Very impressed with the amount of money it made. People would think, Marvel movie in November. The last one, obviously, was Doctor Strange last year, and I don't believe they had one in 2015. But November is kind of a new month for Marvel movies. They don't often come out. I know Thor: The Dark World came out in November, but maybe this signifies with $122.7 million. That's a lot of money for November.
Yeah.
So we could see a shift with Marvel always has a movie come out in May. We all know that. But now since they're shifting towards 3 a year, perhaps they're going to do one in May, one in the summer, and then one in November. I would be all for that.
Yeah, true.
And
the more Marvel movies, the better.
Yeah. Like you said with the 2 Halloween movies, kind of odd because, this weekend obviously started November 3rd. So it's kind of strange to see people still going out to see these Halloween movies. Maybe just...
They missed it or
something. Yeah.
Meant
to see it. Couldn't buy tickets for Halloween weekend. Yeah. Went the next. Geostorm making $3.1 million. Not impressive at all, but 45% drop, not a terrible drop, but where it should be making for how much this movie cost, that's not good for the movie.
Not good for Warner Brothers.
Yeah, noticeably off the top 5, Blade Runner 2049,
of course.
Unfortunately. Number 7, not terrible. Happy Death Day out of the top 5. Thank You for Your Service, another movie that didn't get a ton of buzz around it, only got some TV spots towards its month coming before it came out, and yeah, that's about it. That stands out to me for the top 5. It probably what I would have predicted, except for the 2 Halloween movies, obviously.
Also, down at number 15, look how many theaters they've lost. It's just getting pulled out of theaters.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. It's been out for a very long time now.
Yeah, it has. Probably coming up on about 2 months, right?
2 months, yeah.
So that's really, for a horror movie,
it's 2 months today.
Yeah, so that's really impressive for a horror movie to be in theaters for that long. Anything else we want to say on the weekend box office?
That's about it. Not surprised that Thor is just champion of box office right now.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so moving on, for our first piece of news, we have Jessica Chastain announcing that she wants to be in 2019's It sequel. Obviously going to play the older Beverly, the connection with the red hair, I guess.
Yeah, of course.
But this news is very exciting to me because it shows that It obviously got a lot of traction, very popular among critics and fans, and it made a ton of money. So despite the fact that it was like a smash success, I originally thought the sequel wouldn't get a ton of like big names wanting to be attached, but Jessica Chastain's a huge name. To want to be attached to this project, to play the older Beverly, I would love to see her in this role. And yeah, hopefully we get to see even more cool actors come on. I know some of the kids, when they were asking who they would want to play their older selves, they kind of went out of their way. Oh, I want DiCaprio. I want Brad Pitt.
Who said Bill Hader?
Was
that?
Damn, I feel like it was Finn Wolfhard.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
I think I would have liked.
Yeah,
Bill.
Cool. I'd love to see Bill Hader in this. But as for right now, the only news we have of a person wanting to be in the sequel is Jessica Chastain, and I'm very excited. What are your thoughts, Mike?
Same here. Wonderful actress. Would love to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't really have much to say. We've talked about it a lot on this podcast.
A lot.
And so, yeah, I'm very excited to potentially see Jessica Chastain in the It sequel. Moving on, we have news that Billy Batson, the young version of Shazam, well, the
real person,
the human alias of Shazam, has been cast. It is Asher Angel, a name that's not familiar to me at all, actually. Perhaps he's an unknown. I'm see if we have anything in his filmography. Not really, but he's cast to play Billy Batson. All I really have right now is a headshot of him, and he looks like a happy kid, you know.
Happy guy.
I don't really.
He's gonna get to be a wizard, kind of. I mean, that's what Shazam is, kind of a wizard.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see because I don't know if they plan with this movie on being a bulk of it being Billy Batson, or if they plan on a bulk of it being Zachary Levi's Shazam.
To do a proper Shazam like origin story, you're gonna have to have him as a kid as a while, because like he gets trained by Shazam, who's a wizard.
Right.
And like the original Shazam was actually called Captain Marvel.
Right.
Can't do that anymore because Marvel's Captain Marvel, but it'll be fun to see a true Billy Batson story.
Yeah, I would be very excited to see like a kid as the front runner of a superhero movie because we haven't really had that. I mean, we had the only examples I can think of is like Harley in Iron Man 3, but he wasn't the centerpiece.
True.
Obviously.
Plus, you could think about X-Men First Class.
Yeah,
I guess those are kind of kids.
Yeah,
they're not kids, but
they're in it, but they're not like it's led by McAvoy and Fassbender, obviously. So. Yeah, just my final thoughts on the news that they've casted Billy Batson. I'm very excited. I can't put much stock into the actor.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, and also another piece of casting news: Mark Strong is playing the villain. I forget the name. I feel like it's Dr. something. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Mark Strong. Because we obviously know he's not going with Black Adam as the villain for the first movie.
Which I think is a mistake on their part. I think you can't really have a Black Adam movie. It doesn't make sense. But
so Mark Strong is playing Dr. Savannah. So I don't know really anything about this character.
That's Kingsman guy.
Yeah,
I know.
He is in Kingsman. Yeah. He also, fun fact, he also was in a DC movie before, unrecognizable, but he was Sinestro in Green Lantern. Yeah, I know. A lot of makeup done, but I thought the portrayal of Sinestro was done pretty well. Obviously, the change in the end credit scene came out of nowhere. Yeah. But I will say, he looked near perfect as Sinestro. Yeah. So to see him as the villain, Dr. Savannah, like you said, it looks like it's happening. Yeah. It looks like they're actually moving forward with this.
Which is interesting. When's this movie supposed to come out? Like, not for a while.
2019. I don't know if they've set a release date, but production is supposed to begin in February of 2018.
There's definitely more like hype about this than the Flash movie that's supposed to be happening.
Yeah, with Flashpoint, they don't exactly have. Well, they're eyeing a director, but as we addressed on last week's podcast, that's based off the success of Justice League. This seems like they're just going for it, and it's good to hear. I mean, they have a script, I believe. And they have a director, and they've cast the villain, they've cast the hero, they've cast the younger version of the hero. It looks like they're moving in the right direction. So,
which is good.
Props to Shazam, and I'm very excited to see how this project goes. Who knows?
Justice League 2 might have Shazam.
Yeah, we never know. And obviously, knowing the DCEU, in 2 months we could hear the director dropped out, they scrapped the script, Mark Strong is left. We don't know, but as of right now, I think they're looking good. They have a step in the right direction. All right, so moving on to our next piece of news. It's actually been building up for a little bit. Tyrese Gibson, known for his role as what's his role in Fast and Furious? Roman Pierce. Sorry, kind of a side character in the Fast and Furious movies, but yeah. Loved nonetheless, a fan favorite. He threatened to leave the franchise if Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Luke Hobbs, returns. And his rationale was that he's causing so much drama among the franchise and he was complaining a lot and he was starting to leave. Now, this news, when I heard this, kind of made me laugh at Tyrese especially because... No offense, but, who are you, dude, to dictate the Fast and Furious franchise? This is not your franchise. This is still Vin Diesel's franchise, and to be honest, he's not even pulling that much weight anymore. It's transitioned. A lot of the stock has to go to The Rock. No rhyme intended there.
Stock to The Rock.
Yeah, but we've joked on this podcast before, but The Rock is franchise Viagra. He comes in and he boosts the franchise to new heights, and the reason Fast and Furious is so popular is because Fast 5, when they introduced The Rock's character, Luke Hobbs, obviously playing a policeman, some sort of special forces in there as well, but he really brought this franchise to new heights. And I believe Tyrese's main complaint is that they're trying to do a spin-off with Hobbs and Jason Statham's character, Deckard Shaw, and he complained about that maybe just I've been in this franchise longer than you, how come I don't have a sequel? It's because, no offense, Tyrese, but no one wants to see your character. Tyrese, his character, Roman Pierce, he's the whiny one. Have you seen any of the Fast and Furious movies?
I saw Tokyo Drift, that's it.
Okay. The infamous one. But the last one I saw in theaters, I didn't see Fast 8, what was it called? Fate of the Furious. But I saw Furious 7 in theaters. And when they do the amazing stunt when they all jump out of the plane, the cargo plane with all their cars, he's the one that's like, oh dear, oh my god, what's going on? And yeah, we get it, he's the comedic relief, and that's fun and all, but no one's going to give him his own movie. And so if he's going to complain that The Rock is getting his own movie, if anything, it's going to bring more eyes to the franchise. It's going to make you a bigger check. So I don't think he is not in the right at all to complain. And so recently, 3 days ago, he claims he has ended his feud with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He posted on social media a picture of him, Vin Diesel, and The Rock all kind of buddy-buddy together. And so, I think this was all just a mistake on Tyrese's part. It's causing unwanted attention towards him, and I think he's a bit of a fool, honestly, for bringing this up in the first place.
I'm guessing the studio had something to do with that feud ending.
They probably were you guys need to work this out.
You want your contract still, you gotta shut up.
Yeah, because I remember there was one thing he said at one point where he was kind of all right, it's him or me. And I don't think any Warner Brothers executive would side with him whatsoever. Not Warner Brothers, sorry, Universal. Any executive from Universal would side with him because they recognize The Rock is... Maybe besides Tom Cruise, but I would still say The Rock is the biggest movie star in Hollywood today. He brings a lot of money to whatever franchise he's a part of. So Tyrese complaining, deciding it's him or me. No offense, dude. They're going to cut your 10 minutes of screen time side comedic character for The Rock any day of the week. So I'm glad you ended this feud, but I'm not... If you continued and they cut you from the franchise, I wouldn't care that much because Tyrese is kind of an afterthought in the Fast and Furious franchise, in my opinion. Maybe that differs from other people, but he's a side character. No more, no less, honestly.
Yeah, I was just thinking about if The Rock is truly able to lift up franchises, maybe throw him at the Universal Dark Universe. Because that universe is
we're talking about The Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was rumored to be the Wolfman.
He was.
Yeah, so that would be...
Because that they're tanking right now. The Mummy was so bad. It would be interesting to see him save another universe there.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts on this mini feud that went on?
I don't think it matters at all.